The South China Sea is once again in turmoil. Near Scarborough Shoal, a disputed reef claimed by both China and the Philippines, a dangerous naval incident has sparked fresh tensions between the United States and China. With warships confronting each other in contested waters, the standoff is raising fears of a larger conflict. Scarborough Shoal, located just 120 miles off the coast of the Philippines, has long been at the center of heated disputes. For years, China has claimed the shoal as part of its so-called 9-dash line, while the Philippines and international courts have rejected Beijing's claims. The United States, although not a claimant, has repeatedly intervened, citing freedom of navigation and support for its regional allies. August 13, 2025. The Chinese Navy said it expelled a U.S. Navy ship that entered its territorial waters in the South China Sea, while the U.S. defended the operation as legal under international law. China's Navy tracked and warned off the USS Higgins, a U.S. Navy destroyer, after it illegally intruded into the waters surrounding Scarborough Shoal without permission, the People's Liberation Army Southern Theater Command said in a statement Wednesday. The U.S. military's actions have seriously infringed upon China's sovereignty and security and severely undermined peace and stability in the South China Sea, it added. The U.S. Navy rejected the Chinese claim, describing the operation as a lawful assertion of navigational rights. The mission was meant to challenge restrictions on innocent passage imposed by China and Taiwan, the Navy said. The Higgins exited what the U.S. called the excessive maritime claim area upon completing the operation and continued routine operations in the South China Sea. China's statement about this mission is false. U.S. 7th Fleet spokesperson Lieutenant Sarah Merrill said, "Nothing China says otherwise will deter us." The South China Sea has long been a lightning rod for tensions between the U.S. and China. China's territorial claims to the waters overlap with those of neighboring nations, including the Philippines. While the U.S. regularly conducts freedom of navigation operations in the area, moves that often provoke Beijing. On Monday, two Chinese vessels collided after one of them chased a Philippine Coast Guard ship near the Scarborough Shoal. Beijing blamed Manila for the incident without specifying the damage to its ship. The operations demonstrate that the United States will fly, sail, and operate wherever international law allows, regardless of the location of excessive maritime claims and regardless of current events, Merrill added. Despite the maritime tension, broader relations between the world's two largest economies have stabilized after both sides extended a trade truce for another 90 days into early November. According to reports, a U.S. Navy destroyer conducting routine patrols near the shoal was intercepted by Chinese naval vessels. The Chinese side accused the U.S. warship of trespassing into Chinese territorial waters, while Washington insisted its mission was a lawful freedom of navigation operation. Eyewitness accounts suggest the two vessels came dangerously close, forcing emergency maneuvers. Beijing immediately issued a strong protest, warning that any provocation by foreign militaries would not be tolerated. In response, the Pentagon reaffirmed its commitment to defend freedom of navigation and warned China against aggressive maneuvers. The Philippines, which claims the shoal as part of its exclusive economic zone, has expressed alarm over the incident, calling for restraint but welcoming U.S. presence in the region. Why is Scarborough Shoal so important? Control of the shoal provides strategic access to key shipping routes and rich fishing grounds. More importantly, it symbolizes the broader battle for dominance in the South China Sea, a waterway through which trillions of dollars in global trade pass every year. For China, control means expanding its sphere of influence. For the U.S., resisting Beijing's claims is crucial to maintaining the balance of power in Asia. Commander Matthew Comer, Indo-Pacific Command spokesperson. China's statement about this mission is false. USS Higgins, DDG-76, conducted this phone-op in accordance with international law, and then continued on to conduct normal operations. The United States is defending its right to fly, sail, and operate wherever international law allows, as USS Higgins did here. Nothing China says otherwise will deter us. Liu Pengyu, spokesperson for the Chinese embassy in Washington, D.C., previously told Newsweek that China firmly opposes willful trespassing and any country conducting unlawful provocations in the name of freedom of navigation to harm the sovereignty and security of coastal countries and undermine regional peace and stability. The United States regularly carries out freedom of navigation operations in the South China Sea, challenging what it says are curbs on passage imposed by China and other claimants. The Scarborough Shoal has been a major source of tension in the South China Sea, a conduit for more than $3 trillion of annual shipborne commerce. The actions of Chinese vessels in the shoal this week also resulted in a collision of 2 of them, Manila said, the first such known in the area. China's Coast Guard said it had taken necessary measures to expel Philippine vessels from the waters. In 2016, an international arbitral tribunal ruled there was no basis in international law for Beijing's claims, based on its historic maps. China does not recognize that decision, however. Analysts warn that incidents like this could spiral out of control. Even a small miscalculation such as a collision or accidental weapons discharge could trigger a larger conflict between the world's 2 most powerful militaries. With U.S. treaty obligations to defend the Philippines, the risks extend far beyond Scarborough Shoal, potentially dragging the entire region into crisis. This naval clash near Scarborough Shoal is more than just a standoff at sea. It is a reminder of how fragile peace in the South China Sea truly is. As Washington and Beijing test each other's limits, the world watches closely. Will diplomacy prevail, or are we witnessing the opening moves of a dangerous new chapter in U.S.-China rivalry? Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates on global security, military affairs, and the South China Sea.